All right, let's get started. So in this engine, we're going to strip it down. It's getting a billet rod, flat top, piston, cam, different valves and valve springs, and a carburetor. Then we're going to build a header for it. And it is going to... I haven't decided yet what clutch I'm going to run on it. I've got a CVT and then a Juggernaut. And then I have a Juggernaut primary clutch for it as well. So I think that's the route I'm going to go. Otherwise I do have... Oh, look at that. There was some oil in it. The Harbor Freighters lied to us. Oh, we're also going to be deleting the governor, the oil shutoff, and putting an billet aluminum flywheel on it. And preferably not throwing anything else on the floor. Well, I might oblige. We'll throw everything on the floor, I guess, today. It's also getting a race carburetor as well. And a few other cool little goodies. And we are going to most likely utilize the stock tank, I think. I've got a tank for it otherwise, but we will see. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. I'm trying to get as much of this done in the short amount of time I have this morning to do it. Oh, and the little emission system thing is going to go in the trash can. Where it rightfully belongs. Stock carburetor is going to go by the wayside. Oh, the stock rev limiting ignition coil will also be throwing away. Some boat carburetor parts. That is what I will be working on later today when I get back. And then I have a primary, well, I have to replace the shifter on a Street Glide that is over here all torn apart. And what I'm plus I have to pull the motor out of a boat. I had a lot of stuff to do today. But I am dead in the water till help shows up with the project. The car I was working on. So do something else in the meantime. Trying to be constructive. I've only had these motors sitting here for several months. Not sure if that gets reused at all or not. I don't believe so. Jeepers. Throw everything on the floor like this. Oh, we have different rockers for it too. And we will not be using this spark plug. And just go in the car. Wrong. do some rearranging real quick. You might laugh, but this little cart's pretty awesome. It actually, our house burnt up a couple years ago, and these were in the house that I ended up reusing in the shop. But they, from IKEA, amazingly, they hold up really well to all the weight. But we can't do that yet. All right, let's get the rest of the junk off this motor. I was just gonna put this on the go-kart, and then I was like, you know, my 8-year-old's gonna drive it, and I really didn't like the idea of him driving it with stock steel flywheel. I know that these ones are supposed to be better. Everybody kind of talks about them being better than some of the other ones, but I'll take a billet aluminum flywheel over these cast steel ones, or cast iron, or even steel. Still too much rotating mass. We'll see how this goes. I know there's some clearancing that we need to do inside the motor. This is the first 224 I've done. I've done a number of 196cc motors and 212s, Hemis and non-Hemis. All right. Now we can get this gas line off. Actually, if you guys can see, I don't know if you can, but over there are 3 more of these motors that need to get done. I have some spoiled kids. Try to make them all happy, so I know that one go-kart would not do the trick. Kind of sad, all the fancy parts that these motors come with, I'm not even going to use most of them. When you go to put the new coil back on your motor, I believe it's 15 thousandths. Take a feeler gauge, set in between there. I'll look it up here in a little bit, but we're not to that point yet. It's almost ridiculous doing this to a brand new motor. And I know I do a little bit extra work that other people on other channels don't do, because I run a repair shop, and some of this stuff will get reused if I don't break it coming apart. This one's there's that for the moment being. Stock carburetor. These little clips work really good if you're into RC cars. Save them and they always find them a use for them on there. More garbage. More garbage. Let's see. 21mm. Have that sitting behind a little kid while he's riding on something. And this is cast iron. It's not steel. Just like that. This can go in a fucking trash can. Oops, excuse me. When I edit this, I'll bleep that out. Hopefully I didn't offend anybody. All right. When you get to this point, you can take this little shield, the one bolt that's holding it on, take it off and take this little bracket. Oh, they actually heat tacked this one on. I can't believe it. Oh, I'll be darned. I guess it's gonna stay there. I don't want to mangle it up anymore than I already did. Put that back on later. All right, get to this point. Pull this little emissions stuff off. You gotta take this heat shield off. Hot. grommets out. All right. Push rods don't go back in. Oops. Thinking I'm going to take I'm probably going to take a good amount off this head too. We'll see. Looking inside here, they actually cleaned this one up from the factory. It's pretty impressive. Could use some minor porting inside the intake, down by the intake valve, to really be optimal, but it ain't bad. Exhaust is the same way, just a tiny bit would make it a slight improvement. But now I'm going to show you, just pull the cam out, throw the lifter on the ground. I'll clean it up before I put it back in. Alright. This head gasket won't get reused, it's way too thick. I use a 10 thousandths head gasket. It's probably what I'll do instead of shaving the head. Here we're taking the oil level sender out, the shut-off switch for low oil level. Move it so you guys can see. Maybe you can see in there, I'm not sure. But you have to fiddle with the crank a little bit. And it doesn't seem to want to come out, so I'm going to leave it for the moment. Spin the crankshaft around to about there. Now I'm going to pull the rod bolts off. Got a lot of side play. I'm going to take this gasket off before I wreck it, because it's still reusable. And I lost a dowel. See if the other one wants to come out. It does. So reach in here and you're going to unscrew these rod cap bolts. Hopefully somebody that is going to build one of these in the future, and there's lots of videos out there on how to do it, but they're all so sped up. Thought maybe I'd do one in real time. And if I don't get it done here in my allotted amount of time this morning I have, then I will make another live video in the future You guys can find it in my live section. Want to at least get it torn down. And oh, oops. Yeah, you should wait to take the governor thing spring out till you're ready to pull it. Or you just fiddle around with it a little bit and you can get it. Rod caps off. Run the crank around a little ways. I told you I was going to throw everything on the floor this morning. So here's your stock rod, stock crank, or stock piston. Do it. Rings look decent. It ain't bad by any means, but it ain't superly strong either. There we go. If I knew how strong these pistons really were, it'd be kind of fun to TIG weld a domed piston onto here, just to play with it. Bump the compression up to somewhere around 16 to 1. All right, now we're going to. Where did that dowel pin? Oh, it's a head dowel pin. Ooh, there should be 2 of those. And I always set my motors on a piece of wood when I'm working on them instead of my steel table. And some guys will bolt them down, but I don't necessarily like to do that. I like so I can spin them. So right now we're going to take and pop this gear off. Hey, it went right in the trash bin. Perfect. If you don't know, that is for your governor assembly, which is up in here. Pull your governor piece out. You gotta make sure you get that little washer. Actually, this governor rod can go right in the trash too. Well, we're gonna lay it like this and we're gonna take a punch and pop that bad boy right out of there. Like that. Get our. There's the governor assembly, little pin that was holding it in place. And here's the flat washer that was up against it. I am going to tap all these holes for 1/4 inch here in a minute. And I believe we have to do some clearancing work to the block as well. Now this one I'm obviously going to tap for something bigger. Might actually look and see if I've got pipe plugs. I might just put pipe plugs in them. But here's what your little block looks like. Nice steel cylinder in it. And you obviously have to clean it all up before you reassemble it. A lot of grime inside it from right out of the box. These little engines, you should almost take them apart even if you're going to put them on a lawnmower or a tiller. Gray matter is bad. All right. And it's already got some wear marks. I'm gonna measure this. I think I got a hone. I'm gonna re-hone it. Got this fancy hone from my brother-in-law, Neil. Shout out to Neil O'Connor. Don't remember what size this is for. Oof, I think that might be a little bit big. Should say on it what it's for. It does not say anywhere. There's already some scoring in this one. I'm kind of surprised. That's why I'm doing this, otherwise I won't be wasting my time. See if it fits in there before I get too excited. Yeah, right. That is way too big. So we'll use my less fancy hone. Here I got all excited for nothing. Typical of me, get excited. And don't work out. So we'll set that down here for the moment. So I'm gonna coat all these with oil. Set this here for a second. Spray that. Give it a good couple wipe rounds. Let's see. Oh, the marks are still there. Take a little bit more out. Papers, those are deep. I got the majority of it out. Alright. Check to see what I got for plugs. We'll just put bolts in them. So this is the hole, this one here, and then this hole up here you need to plug. I know some people do put a vent cap here, or a vent, so you can run a crankcase breather, or for a suction line for your fuel pump, which probably actually is what I'm going to have to do, because I may run an auxiliary fuel tank on this thing. Yeah, so I'm going to tap that out for a hole. And you could, if you really wanted to, you could just put a bolt and a nut. I would make sure it had Loctite on it. I don't like doing that because it could come loose, something internally. This thing's spinning pretty high RPM, and that crank and rod and piston are not balanced together, so it's going to have some vibrations. But that is about all the time I've got this morning, so hopefully you like this, and if you're available later today, I'll hopefully get back to it this afternoon, or it'll be tomorrow morning about this time. Have a good day, everybody.